Saw a couple requests on the forums and on the discussion boards for Dovetail Games Fishing on how to use drag, so I hope this helps somebody. First thing is I'm starting out with a fish already on. I did this just to save time for the video for the guide. The first thing you'll notice is I don't use F to pick up the rod as it says on the screen. I actually just press the 1 button, which picks up the first rod. If you press F and go to the menu and actually pick up the rod, it takes you extra time. Never lost a fish that way, but it is a little helpful thing that I did figure out. So if you want the first rod, obviously you press 1, and then 2 for the second rod, 3 for the third, instead of pressing F and picking from the menu. It's just a little helpful tip. The next thing obviously is we're going to set the hook as soon as we pick it up. So here I set the hook. You'll notice that my drag is at 20. That's because I preset it. It comes set at 12 by default. I preset it between 20 and 40 while it's sitting in the rod mount, or in the rod pod, I guess, because I don't want it so high that it could risk breaking the fish off right away, and I don't want it so low that it doesn't have enough to pull the hook into the lips of the fish. So I do set it depending on what size bait usually I use, because I know if I'm using a 20mm boilie, it's probably going to be a bigger fish, so I set it at a higher drag. 20 right here just because I was using something small, so I have a bigger chance of catching fish so that I can make this video. The next thing you'll notice is I start adjusting drag here after the hook's set. So I'm not a big fan of adjusting drag constantly throughout a fight a ton. I see people doing that, and I feel like I, for myself, risk losing a fish if I'm constantly moving drag all around. That said, I do adjust it up and down during a fight in coordination with the tension meter, which is on the bottom right hand corner. If that tension meter gets up in the red, you're at risk of too much tension. When you get too much tension, it will give you a tone and a red exclamation point. That means if you leave it in that red exclamation point for any amount of time, I think it's a couple seconds, then it will break the line, so you got too much tension. When you have too much tension, what you want to do is you want to turn your drag down. Now you can do so on PC by either pressing the minus button on your keyboard or scrolling your mouse scroll wheel down. Now if your line tension gets too low, it will get towards the blue. If you go too low, it will give you another tone and a blue exclamation, meaning there's no tension left on the line, and that fish is at high risk of spitting that hook. So if you're showing on the tension meter in the blue and you want to turn your tension up, either press the plus sign on your keyboard or the scroll wheel on your mouse needs to move upwards. That will increase the tension and pull that meter back into a happy medium. So you want to keep it between the two. I like to adjust my drag to keep it somewhere in the upper red when I'm pulling back on the rod, trying to gain ground on the fish. And then obviously as I move my rod forward, letting off tension, I'm reeling, and that way I'm gaining ground as I'm putting it back, just as I do in real life fishing as well. And you obviously don't want it to go too far in the red or too far in the blue. As the fish gets more tired, you can actually turn your drag up during a fight. That's because he's not pulling as hard and you can gain more ground. After that, it's all about netting, which is in a different video. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is, I think, a 22-pound carp here. It'll show. Hope you enjoy. Write me on the forums or write me on this YouTube video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope it helped you. Thanks.